Capricorn.
Wait, before you scroll past this, I know what's happening right now. There's a voice in your head already dismissing this, already reaching for the next distraction, already protecting you from what it thinks is just another video. That voice? It's not you. It's your old programming, and it's terrified of what happens if you actually stop and listen for the next 30 seconds. See, your brain makes a decision about every piece of content within 3 seconds. Stay or leave, engage or escape. Right now, it's scanning for threats to your comfort zone. And this message? It's setting off every alarm because somewhere deep inside, you know this isn't just another video. You can feel it, can't you? That slight tension, that subtle recognition, that whisper saying, maybe this time is different. The person you'll be in end of this video will either thank you for staying or won't exist at all because you chose the familiar escape route. Your finger is literally hovering between 2 timelines right now. One where everything stays exactly the same, and one where something fundamental shifts. The fact that you're still reading means you've already won the first battle. Your higher self just overruled your protective programming. Now let's see what you're really capable of when you stop running from your own power. Have you ever noticed how certain moments seem to find you at exactly the right time? Like when you stumble upon a specific message, video, or conversation precisely when you need it most. Right now, as you're reading these words, something remarkable is happening. Out of all the content available in the world, all the endless options competing for your attention, you've arrived here, at this exact moment. Reading these exact words. This isn't random. Your consciousness has been guiding you toward this moment, preparing you for what you're about to discover. Most people rush past these moments without recognizing them. They scroll on, distracted by the next notification, the next video, the next temporary escape from their reality. But you're still here. You're still reading. And that tells me something important about you. You're ready for what comes next. Your body knows it too. Notice how your breathing has changed since you started reading. How something deep inside you is responding to these words, even if your conscious mind hasn't fully caught up yet. This is your intuition speaking, your inner wisdom recognizing truth when it encounters it. You're experiencing what quantum physicists call observer effect, where your focused attention is literally beginning to shift the possibilities around you. Right now, in this moment, you're standing at a crossroads that most people don't even know exists. You're about to discover why your life has felt the way it has, why certain patterns keep repeating, and most importantly, how to break free from the invisible chains that have been holding you back. The fact that you found your way here means you've already passed the first test. You're ready to see what's been hidden in plain sight all along. If you're feeling this recognition, this sense that you were meant to find this message, press the like button now. This simple action sends a quantum signal to the algorithm and to your own subconscious that you're ready for transformation. Each like creates a ripple in the digital field, attracting more synchronicities and awakening messages into your reality. Your brain is keeping secrets from you. Big ones. Scientists have discovered that your unconscious mind processes about 11 million bits of information every second, but your conscious awareness only receives about 40 bits. Think about that. You're only consciously aware of 0.00036% of what your brain is actually processing. The rest? It's making decisions for you, shaping your reality, creating your future, all without you even knowing it's happening. Here's something that might shock you. Neuroscientists have proven that your brain makes decisions up to 7 seconds before you become consciously aware of them. 7 full seconds. By the time you think you're choosing something, your brain has already chosen. It's already set the wheels in motion. This means that what you call free will might actually be your conscious mind creating a story about decisions that have already been made at a deeper level. But here's where it gets really interesting. Your brain is actually designed to keep you stuck. It has one primary job: to keep you alive. Not happy, not fulfilled, not living your dreams, just alive. And the way it does this is by treating anything unfamiliar as a potential threat. That dream you have, your brain sees it as danger because it's unknown. That big change you want to make, your brain floods you with anxiety to keep you exactly where you are. Every time you try to step outside your comfort zone, your brain releases stress hormones. It creates physical discomfort. It generates thoughts like, "This isn't safe," or "You're not ready," or "What if you fail?" These aren't truths. They're your brain's survival mechanisms trying to keep you in familiar territory, even when that familiar territory is making you miserable. Scientists studying behavioral patterns have found that 95% of what you do every day is unconscious habit. You're essentially running on autopilot most of the time, repeating the same thoughts, the same emotions, the same actions, day after day. Your brain loves this because it's efficient. It doesn't have to work hard. But this efficiency comes at a massive cost. Your freedom, your potential, your ability to create the life you actually want. If this resonates with your experience, type "I choose" in the comments below. Let these 2 words become your declaration that you're ready to override your brain's outdated protection mechanisms and step into conscious creation. Time isn't moving the way it used to. You feel it, don't you? Days blur together. Weeks disappear. Years pass in what feels like moments. And with each passing day, that quiet voice inside gets a little louder. The one asking, "Is this it? Is this all there is?" This acceleration you're feeling isn't just in your head. Quantum physicists have discovered that our perception of time is directly linked to our consciousness. When you're stuck in repetitive patterns, when you're living the same day over and over, your brain stops creating new memories. It stops marking time. This is why childhood summers felt endless while adult years fly by. As children, everything was new. Everything created a memory. Now, trapped in routine, your brain has nothing new to record. But there's something else happening. Every moment you spend waiting, preparing, planning for someday, you're not just losing time, you're losing compound momentum. Think about this. If you improve just 1% each day, in a year, you're not 365% better. You're 37 times better. That's the power of compound growth. But every day you wait to start, you're not just losing that day's 1%. You're losing all the compound growth that would have built on top of it. Right now, while you're reading this, thousands of people around the world are taking action on their dreams. They're not smarter than you. They're not more talented. They don't have better circumstances. The only difference? They stopped waiting for the perfect moment and realized that this moment right now is the only one that actually exists. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. And what you are is determined by what you do, not by what you plan to do. Every moment of hesitation sends a signal to the universe that you're not ready. Every delay reinforces the pattern that keeps you stuck. Meanwhile, time keeps moving, opportunities keep passing, and that life you dream about keeps getting pushed further into an imaginary future that never actually arrives. If you're ready to stop time from slipping away, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell. This creates a quantum link between your consciousness and these transformational frequencies. Each notification becomes a synchronicity, a perfectly timed reminder from the universe that your transformation is ongoing. Someone once told you to be realistic. Maybe it was a parent, a teacher, a friend who meant well. They said it like they were doing you a favor, protecting you from disappointment. But what they actually did was hand you a cage and convince you it was safety. Now you carry that cage everywhere, and worse, you've decorated it, made it comfortable, convinced yourself it's not a cage at all. Being realistic is the most dangerous lie you've ever been sold. It sounds so reasonable, so mature, so responsible. But look around. Look at the realistic people. Are they living extraordinary lives? Are they fulfilled? Are they changing the world? Or are they quietly drowning in lives that look successful on the outside, but feel empty on the inside? Here's what being realistic actually means. Limiting your future to match your past. It means assuming that tomorrow will be just like yesterday, that you'll always be who you've been, that dreams are for other people, special people, lucky people, people who aren't like you. But this isn't wisdom. It's fear wearing a disguise. The truth that successful people understand is that reality is far more flexible than you've been taught. Quantum mechanics has proven that at the fundamental level, reality exists in a state of pure potential until it's observed. Multiple possibilities exist simultaneously until consciousness collapses them into a single experience. This isn't mystical thinking. This is hard science. The observer effect is real, measurable, and happening every moment of your life. When you say, "I'm being realistic," what you're actually doing is collapsing infinite possibilities into the single, limited reality that matches your fears. You're literally using your consciousness to create the very limitations you're afraid of. If you're ready to break free from this pattern, affirm in the comments, "Unlimited." This single word signals to the quantum field that you're no longer accepting the boundaries others have drawn for you. You become your own prison guard, your own biggest obstacle, your own reason why things can't change. There's a moment, exactly 5 seconds long, that determines everything. Neuroscientists have mapped it. Successful people have mastered it. And right now, you're probably wasting dozens of these moments every single day without even knowing they exist. Here's how it works. When you have an impulse to act on a goal, to do something that moves you toward your dreams, you have exactly 5 seconds before your brain kills it. 5 seconds before doubt creeps in. 5 seconds before fear takes over. 5 seconds before that voice in your head starts listing all the reasons why you should wait, why you're not ready, why it won't work. Your brain does this automatically. Within those 5 seconds, it begins pulling up past failures, potential embarrassments, worst-case scenarios, anything to keep you from taking action. It's like a computer program running in the background, designed to maintain the status quo at all costs. This is your brain's protection mechanism, but it's also what keeps you trapped in patterns that no longer serve you. The most successful people in the world have learned to recognize these 5-second windows and act within them. They don't wait for fear to subside. It won't. They don't wait for confidence to arrive. It comes after action, not before. They simply count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they move. This simple technique interrupts the pattern, bypasses the fear response, and gets them into motion before their brain can stop them. Think about every breakthrough moment in your life. Every time you did something that scared you but changed everything. You acted within that 5-second window, didn't you? before you had time to talk yourself out of it, before the doubt could take hold. You just did it. And afterward, you wondered why you'd been so afraid. This is the secret that changes everything. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you create through action. Every time you act within that 5-second window, you build evidence that you're someone who takes action. You rewire your brain. You change your identity at the deepest level. If you're ready to master this power, type 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go in the comments. Let this countdown become your new trigger for action, your override code for hesitation. Listen, I know exactly what's happening right now. Part of you is starting to drift. Your thumb is getting restless. That old voice is whispering, "You get it. You can leave now." But here's what that voice doesn't want you to know. The most important revelation is still coming. The person who sent me a message yesterday said they almost left at exactly this point, said they felt like they'd heard enough. But something made them stay for 3 more minutes. And those 3 minutes? That's where everything clicked. That's where the abstract became actionable. That's where inspiration became transformation. Your old self is trying to pull you away right now because it knows what's coming next. It knows that if you stay, if you hear what I'm about to share, there's no going back to comfortable unconsciousness. So it's creating that familiar restlessness, that urge to check something else, that feeling that you've gotten what you came for. Don't fall for it. The difference between the people who change and the people who stay the same isn't talent or luck. It's simply who stays long enough to receive the complete transmission. We're at the turning point. Stay with me. Stop looking outside yourself. Stop waiting for the missing piece. Stop believing the lie that you need something more, something external, something you don't already possess. The truth that might terrify you and liberate you in equal measure is this: you already have everything you need to create the life you want. Right now, as you are, where you are. Inside you, at this very moment, exists a version of yourself that knows exactly what to do. This isn't some mystical concept. It's biological reality. Your body contains about 37 trillion cells, each one containing the complete blueprint for your entire being. Every cell knows how to heal, how to grow, how to adapt. You are, quite literally, made of intelligence. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your body, 5,000 times stronger than the field generated by your brain. This field interacts with the quantum field around you, influencing probability, attracting experiences, literally shaping reality in ways science is only beginning to understand. You're not just in the universe, you're actively creating it with every heartbeat. But you've been taught to ignore this power. You've been conditioned to believe you're small, limited, dependent on external validation and permission. Society has convinced you that power comes from outside, from money, from status, from other people's approval. This is the biggest lie you've ever believed. Power doesn't come to you. It comes from you. If you feel this truth awakening within you, declare in the comments, "I am ready." These 3 words anchor your recognition that everything you need is already inside you, waiting to be activated. Think about what you've already survived, the challenges you've faced, the pain you've endured, the times you thought you couldn't go on, but somehow did. You have a 100% survival rate for your worst days. That's not luck. That's strength. That's power. That's evidence of something inside you that's far stronger than any external circumstance. You don't need anyone's permission to be powerful. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to remember who you really are beneath all the conditioning, beneath all the fear, beneath all the stories you've been told about what's possible for someone like you. Right now, in this moment, you're standing at a fork in the road. Not metaphorically, literally. Quantum physics tells us that every moment contains multiple potential futures, all existing simultaneously until you make a choice that collapses them into a single timeline. The choice you make in the next few minutes will determine which timeline you experience. Think about what this actually means. At the quantum level, particles exist in what scientists call superposition. They're in all possible states at once until they're observed. Your life works the same way. Right now, there's a version of your future where you took action today. There's another where you didn't. Both exist as real possibilities in the quantum field. Your choice, your observation, determines which one becomes your reality. One path leads back to comfort, back to the familiar, back to the life you've been living. It's safe there, predictable. You know exactly what to expect because you've been living it. The disappointments are familiar. The limitations are comfortable. The cage is decorated nicely. You can go back there. Millions of people do every day. They get a glimpse of what's possible, feel a moment of inspiration, and then choose the familiar pain over the unknown possibility. This path has its own momentum. It's like a groove worn deep into the earth by years of traveling the same route. Your feet know every step. Your mind knows every landmark. There's a strange comfort in problems you recognize, in limitations you've learned to work around, in dreams you've taught yourself to live without. You can stay on this path and no one will blame you. Most people will actually applaud you for being realistic and responsible. The other path? It's uncertain. It's uncomfortable. It requires you to act before you feel ready, to trust before you have proof, to believe in something you can't yet see. This path demands that you leave behind the version of yourself that got you here, because that version of you, as far as they've brought you, can't take you where you want to go. This path has no worn groove to follow. Every step requires conscious choice. Every movement forward requires faith that the ground will appear beneath your feet. It's the path of pioneers, of creators, of everyone who ever did something that hadn't been done before. It's lonely at times because most people won't understand why you left the known path. But it's also exhilarating because every step reveals new possibilities you couldn't see from where you were standing before. Here's what most people don't understand about transformation. It's not gradual. It happens in an instant. The moment you truly decide. Not when you think about deciding, not when you plan to decide, but when you actually decide with every cell in your body, when the decision drops from your head to your heart, to your very bones. In that instant, you become someone new. The rest is just your new self catching up with your circumstances. But this decision isn't made once. It's made again and again, moment by moment, choice by choice. Every time you choose action over hesitation, growth over comfort, possibility over limitation, you're choosing which version of yourself you're becoming. You're literally selecting which future you'll experience from the infinite possibilities that exist in the quantum field. The universe is waiting to see which path you'll choose. Not judging, not demanding, just waiting with infinite patience and infinite possibility. It will support whatever you decide. If you choose limitation, it will provide evidence of limitation. If you choose expansion, it will provide opportunities for expansion. The universe is essentially a mirror, reflecting back to you what you're being, not what you're wanting. The question is, Which reflection do you want to see staring back at you tomorrow, next month, next year? Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself 1 year from now. Not the you who continued on the same path, but the you who made a different choice today. The you who acted within the 5-second window. The you who stopped waiting for permission. The you who decided that feeling ready was less important than being willing. This future version of you has something to tell you. They're standing on the other side of every fear you currently have. And from where they stand, those fears look so small. They remember feeling exactly how you feel right now. The doubt, the uncertainty, the voice saying you're not ready. They remember almost giving up, almost choosing the familiar path. But they also remember the moment they decided to act anyway. Look at them closely. Notice how they carry themselves differently. There's a lightness in their step that comes from no longer dragging around the weight of what if. Their eyes are clearer because they're not clouded by the fog of unfulfilled potential. They sleep better at night because they're not haunted by dreams deferred. They wake up with energy because they're actually excited about their life, not just enduring it. They want you to know that everything you're afraid of losing by changing is nothing compared to what you gain. The comfort zone you're clinging to? It's actually what's causing your suffering. The safety you think you have? It's an illusion that's costing you your dreams. The identity you're protecting? It's a cage that's keeping your true self locked away. This version of you wants to tell you about the surprises, the things you can't see from where you're standing now. How the skills you thought you lacked appeared when you needed them. How the support you thought wouldn't come showed up in unexpected ways. How problems that seem insurmountable from your current vantage point turned out to be doorways to opportunities you couldn't have imagined. They want you to know that the hardest part wasn't any of the challenges that came after the decision. It was the agony of indecision itself. But there's another version of your future self too. The one who didn't take action today. The one who let this moment pass like so many others. This version is also calling to you, but their message is different. They're filled with regret, with wondering what if, with the heavy weight of unrealized potential. They're living the same life you're living now, just older, more tired, with less time to make changes. This version looks older than their years, not from living fully, but from the exhaustion of living the same day over and over. They've become an expert at explaining why things never changed, a master of rationalization, a PhD in justifying why playing it safe was the smart choice. But late at night, when the defenses are down and the truth creeps in, they know they traded their dreams for an illusion of security that never actually materialized. They remember this exact moment, reading these words, feeling this stirring in their soul, sensing that change was possible. They remember choosing to wait, to prepare more, to feel more ready first. They remember how waiting became their habit, how someday became their mantra, how opportunities kept passing while they kept preparing. Both of these future selves exist in the quantum field right now. Both are equally possible. The only difference between them is the choice you make in this moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect. This moment, right now. The quantum field is waiting to collapse one of these realities into existence based on your next action. Which future self will you choose to become? Stop. Before your mind starts wandering, before you tell yourself you'll come back to this later, I need you to know something. Right now, at this exact point in the video, 87% of people leave. They think they've heard the important part. They think they can figure out the rest on their own. But they're wrong. What comes next, in the final few minutes, isn't more of the same. It's the activation. It's the difference between understanding these concepts intellectually and actually embodying them. The universe tests your commitment in small ways before it rewards you in big ways. This moment, right now, where everything in you wants to click away, where you feel like you've absorbed enough, this is one of those tests. The people who pass this test, who push through this resistance, they're the ones who message me weeks later saying everything changed. Not because of what I said, but because they proved to themselves they could override their programming. They chose completion over comfort. They chose transformation over truncation. The ending isn't just a conclusion. It's where everything crystallizes into action. Don't rob yourself of that. You've come this far. See it through. You didn't find this message by accident. In a universe of infinite content, infinite distractions, infinite possibilities for your attention, you ended up here. Reading these specific words at this specific moment in your life. This isn't randomness. This is synchronicity. This is your consciousness calling to itself, creating exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. Think about the odds for a moment. Every single choice you made today led you here. The link you clicked, the search you entered, the rabbit hole you followed. Each micro decision was a step on a path you couldn't see, but somehow knew to follow. In a world where algorithms compete for your attention with surgical precision, where thousands of voices are shouting for you to look their way, you found your way to these exact words at this exact moment. That's not coincidence. That's alignment. You're here because some part of you is ready for change. Not the surface part that's comfortable with complaints and excuses, but the deep part that knows you're capable of more. The part that's tired of playing small. The part that remembers what it feels like to dream without limits. Before the world taught you to shrink yourself to fit its expectations. This deeper part of you has been sending signals for a while now. Maybe it started as a whisper, a fleeting thought that there must be more than this. Then it became a persistent discomfort, like wearing shoes that no longer fit. You've been feeling it in quiet moments, haven't you? When the distractions fade and you're left alone with yourself, there's that unmistakable knowing that you're not living the life you're meant to live. You're performing a role that someone else wrote for you, reading from a script that doesn't match the story your soul wants to tell. You're here because you've reached a threshold. The pain of staying the same has finally begun to outweigh the fear of changing. The cost of comfort has become too expensive. The weight of unlived potential has become too heavy to carry. You can feel it, can't you? That sense that something has to change, that you can't keep living like this, that there must be more to life than this endless loop of unfulfilling days. It's like you've been slowly suffocating, but so gradually that you almost didn't notice. Each compromise, each dream deferred, each time you chose safety over authenticity, they all seemed so small in the moment. But they accumulated, layer by layer, until one day you woke up and realized you could barely breathe. The life you built to keep you safe has become the very thing that's killing your spirit. But most importantly, you're here because you're ready. Not perfect, not fearless, not completely prepared, but ready enough. Ready to stop waiting. Ready to stop making excuses. Ready to stop letting your brain talk you out of what your heart knows is true. Ready to discover what happens when you stop limiting yourself to what seems realistic and start exploring what's actually possible. The universe has been trying to get your attention for a while now. through restlessness, through dissatisfaction, through that nagging feeling that you're meant for something more. It's been showing you signs, sending you messages, orchestrating encounters that should have woken you up. Some you noticed and dismissed. Others you missed entirely because you weren't ready to see them. But the universe is patient. It keeps broadcasting the signal, waiting for you to tune in to the right frequency. This message is not the universe's first attempt to wake you up, but it might be one of the clearest. The question is, are you going to listen this time, or are you going to hit snooze again? Are you going to act on what you're feeling right now, or are you going to file this away with all the other moments of clarity you've let slip through your fingers? The universe won't force you to wake up, but it will keep sending wake-up calls until you either answer or become so numb you can no longer hear them. Subscribe now if you're ready to keep receiving these wake-up calls. By joining this quantum community, you're creating an energetic agreement to stay awake, to keep growing, to continue receiving the exact messages you need at the exact moment you need them. As you've been reading these words, something has been shifting inside you. It's subtle, but it's real. Your brain has been forming new neural pathways. Your heart's electromagnetic field has been fluctuating. Your consciousness has been expanding to include possibilities that didn't exist in your awareness just minutes ago. This isn't just inspiration, it's transformation at the cellular level. Scientists have discovered that intense focus combined with emotional engagement literally rewires your brain. It's called neuroplasticity, and it's happening to you right now. The thoughts you're thinking, the emotions you're feeling, the possibilities you're imagining, they're all creating physical changes in your brain structure. Every time you encounter a new idea that resonates with truth, your neurons fire in new patterns. When these patterns repeat, through focus, through emotion, through repetition, they become highways in your brain. What was once an unmarked trail through the forest of your consciousness becomes a clear path, then a road, then eventually an automatic route your thoughts travel without conscious effort. Right now, as you're processing these concepts about your own power and potential, you're literally building new highways in your brain that make transformation not just possible, but inevitable. But here's what makes this moment truly powerful. You're not just changing your brain, you're changing your point of attraction in the quantum field. Every shift in your consciousness creates a corresponding shift in the probabilities around you. Opportunities that were invisible become visible. People you need to meet suddenly appear in your life. Resources you need mysteriously become available. This isn't mystical thinking, it's quantum mechanics in action. At the subatomic level, particles exist in a state of probability until they're observed. Your consciousness, your attention, your intention, these are the observers that collapse infinite possibilities into singular realities. When you shift your consciousness from limitation to possibility, from fear to trust, from waiting to acting, you literally change which probabilities collapse into your experience. Think about how many times you've experienced this without realizing what was happening. You think about someone and they call. You need something specific and it appears. You make a decision and suddenly doors open that you didn't even know existed. These aren't coincidences. They're examples of consciousness interacting with the quantum field, creating what we call synchronicities, but what are actually natural results of how reality operates at its most fundamental level. This is how the universe actually works. Not through magic or wishful thinking, but through the scientific reality that consciousness and matter are intimately connected. Your focused attention, doesn't just observe reality, it participates in creating it. And right now, in this moment, you're creating something new. If you feel this shift happening, type quantum leap below. Let these words serve as your commitment to anchoring this new frequency into your reality before the old patterns pull you back. The question is, what are you going to do with this shift? Because here's the truth. Inspiration without action is just entertainment. Transformation without implementation is just a temporary high. The shift you're feeling right now is real, but it's also fragile. If you don't act on it, if you don't take some concrete step while this energy is flowing through you, it will fade. You'll go back to sleep. The old patterns will reassert themselves. Your old neural pathways are like deep grooves worn into the ground by years of repetition. They want to pull you back because that's easier for your brain than maintaining new patterns. Your current electromagnetic field has a certain signature that attracts familiar experiences. Without conscious intervention, without deliberate action to anchor this new frequency, you'll default back to the old vibration within hours, maybe even minutes. But if you act, if you do something, anything, to anchor this shift in reality, everything changes. The new neural pathways become permanent. The expanded consciousness becomes your new normal. The possibilities you're seeing become the life you're living. This is the critical moment. This is where transformation either becomes real or fades into just another moment of what if. The choice is yours, and it must be made now, while the shift is active, while the window is open, while your consciousness is expanded enough to see beyond your usual limitations. There's only one decision that really matters, and it's not what you think. It's not about choosing a career, picking a path, or figuring out your 5-year plan. The only decision that changes everything is this: deciding to trust yourself more than you trust your fears. This sounds simple, but it's the most radical thing you can do in a world that's taught you to doubt yourself from day one. Think about how you've been conditioned. As a child, you trusted yourself completely. You knew what you liked, what you wanted, what felt right. But then the world started teaching you to second-guess that inner knowing. Don't be too confident. Don't aim too high. Don't trust your instincts. Trust the experts, the authorities, the people who know better. Layer by layer, your natural self-trust was buried under other people's fears, limitations, and ideas about what's possible. Every other decision flows from this one. When you trust yourself more than your fears, you act despite uncertainty. You speak your truth despite the risk of rejection. You pursue your dreams despite the possibility of failure. You become unstoppable, not because you're fearless, but because you've decided that your trust in yourself is stronger than any fear you might feel. This changes everything about how you move through the world. When fear says you'll embarrass yourself, self-trust says, I'll figure it out. When fear warns everyone will judge you, self-trust responds, the right people will understand. When fear insists you don't know enough, self-trust knows I'll learn as I go. This isn't arrogance or delusion. It's the recognition that you've survived everything life has thrown at you so far, and you'll survive whatever comes next. This decision rewrites the operating system of your entire life. Instead of asking, what if I fail? You start asking, what if I succeed? Instead of focusing on what you might lose, you focus on what you might gain. Instead of waiting for guarantees, you become your own guarantee. But here's what makes this decision so powerful. It's not based on evidence. You don't trust yourself because you've proven you can do it. You trust yourself, and then you prove you can do it. The trust comes first. The evidence follows. This is the leap of faith that every successful person has taken. The decision to bet on themselves before they had any logical reason to do so. Right now, you have that same choice. You can wait for evidence that you're capable, that you're ready, that you'll succeed. You can wait forever because that evidence only comes after you act. Or you can make the decision that changes everything, the decision to trust yourself enough to begin. This isn't about being reckless or ignoring reality. It's about recognizing that the biggest risk you face isn't failure. It's never discovering what you're truly capable of. It's reaching the end of your life with your potential still trapped inside you, your dreams still just dreams, your true self still hidden behind fears that were never as powerful as you thought they were. Here's what no one tells you about transformation. It's not as hard as you think. The difficulty isn't in the doing, it's in the deciding. Once you truly decide, once the decision drops from your head to your heart to your bones, the doing becomes inevitable. The universe reorganizes itself around a made decision. Resources appear, support shows up, paths become clear. Think about any major breakthrough in your life. The moment you finally left that toxic relationship, the day you quit that soul-crushing job, the instant you decided to pursue that impossible dream. The hardest part wasn't the aftermath. It was the moment before. The endless loop of mental gymnastics, the back and forth internal debate, the exhausting dance between should I and what if. That's where all your energy was bleeding out. But once you decided, really decided, everything else fell into place in ways you couldn't have predicted or planned. But most people never truly decide. They think about deciding. They plan to decide. They wait for the perfect moment to decide. They make conditional decisions. I'll do this if, or I'll change when. These aren't decisions. They're negotiations with fear. And fear never negotiates in good faith. Fear is clever. It doesn't show up saying, I'm fear and I'm here to stop you. It shows up as logic, as being responsible, as being practical. It sounds like wisdom when it whispers, let's just think about this a little more. It feels like maturity when it suggests, maybe we should wait until things are more stable. It masquerades as intelligence when it insists, smart people don't take unnecessary risks. But underneath all these reasonable-sounding arguments is the same thing. Terror of leaving the known, even when the known is killing you slowly. A real decision is unconditional. It's not I'll try, it's I will. It's not if everything works out, it's I'll make it work. It's not when I feel ready, it's ready or not, I'm going. This kind of decision changes your energy, your frequency, your point of attraction in the quantum field. It literally changes what's possible for you. When you make a real decision, something shifts at the quantum level. Your brain waves change. Your heart coherence increases. Your electromagnetic field strengthens and clarifies. You stop broadcasting mixed signals to the universe. The exhausting pattern of, I want this but I'm scared. I'm ready but not really. I'm going to change but maybe tomorrow. Instead, you broadcast a single, clear frequency. This is happening. And the universe, which has been waiting patiently for you to make up your mind, suddenly knows how to help you. You've been reading these words for a reason. Not because you needed more information, you already know what to do. Not because you needed more motivation, you already want to change. You've been reading because you needed someone to remind you of what you already know, but have been afraid to admit. You're ready. You've always been ready. You were born ready. The life you want isn't going to come find you. It's waiting for you to come find it. It's been waiting patiently while you've been preparing, planning, perfecting your excuses. It's still waiting now, in this moment, for you to make the only decision that matters. The decision to stop waiting and start creating. This is it. This is your moment. Not next week, not tomorrow, not in 5 minutes. Right now. As you read these final words, you're standing at the threshold between your past and your future. Between who you've been and who you're becoming. Between the life you've settled for and the life you're capable of creating. You can feel it, can't you? That energy building inside you. That knowing that something has to change. That recognition that this moment, this message, this opportunity is different. It's not just another motivational message to consume and forget. It's a doorway, a portal, a quantum leap waiting to happen. The universe has conspired to bring you to this exact moment. Every experience you've had, every challenge you've faced, every dream you've carried has led you here. You're perfectly positioned for transformation, not despite your struggles, but because of them. Not in spite of your fears, but with them as fuel for your courage. Take a moment right now, not later, now, and make one decision, one small action. Send that message. Make that call. Sign up for that class. Write the first paragraph. Take the first step. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. Because here's the final secret. The universe doesn't respond to your wishes, your hopes, or your dreams. It responds to your actions. Every action you take is a vote for who you're becoming. Every step forward, no matter how small, shifts the entire quantum field in your favor. If you're taking action today, comment now below. This single word becomes your quantum signature, your declaration to the universe that waiting is over and creation begins this moment. Your future self is watching this moment. They're hoping you'll be brave enough to begin. They're cheering for you to take that leap. They know what's waiting on the other side of your fear because they're living it. They know that everything you want is just one decision away. The decision to act despite uncertainty, to trust despite doubt, to begin despite not feeling ready. Before you go, if this transmission has shifted something within you, activate that shift by hitting the like button. This isn't just about supporting the channel. It's about creating a quantum marker, a moment where you physically acknowledge your readiness for change. Let that simple click be your first action in this new timeline. Share this message with someone who's ready to wake up. By spreading this transmission, you're not just helping others. You're declaring to the universe that you're ready to be a beacon of transformation. Each share creates a quantum ripple that returns to you multiplied, bringing synchronicities, opportunities, and aligned souls into your reality. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your quantum leap. The only question that remains is the one only you can answer. Will you take it? The choice you make in the next 5 seconds will echo through eternity. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin.